If you own a home in Sunbury, Ohio, you've probably wondered if installing solar panels is actually worth the investment right now. Take a look at this timeline tracking the 30% federal solar tax credit. You'll see it sharply drops to zero for residential properties placed in service after December 31, 2025. The residential clean energy credit is going away. For years, that heavy federal subsidy provided a massive financial cushion. It made it easy to ignore inefficient system designs, heavily shaded roofs, and poor financing terms, because the tax credit smoothed out the math. Without that safety net, putting panels on your roof is no longer a universally subsidized upgrade. It is a strict, localized infrastructure investment. That means weighing your upfront capital and preparation costs directly against long-term utility savings. The margin for error is simply much smaller. This leaves homeowners trying to figure out if Ohio's weather, rising utility rates, and installation costs make solar a smart financial move or an expensive mistake. This split screen shows the difference between the marketing and the reality. On one side, we have the idealized sunny house with a pristine roof. On the other, the reality for many in Ohio, an aging roof, heavy tree shade, and overcast skies. Solar energy is not automatically good or bad for every property. Its real value is entirely dictated by the physical constraints of your specific property, specifically your roof condition, your shade footprint, and how long you plan to live there. To see a real return on investment in 2026, your physical home, your household energy usage, and your financial timeline must align. We can break this down starting with this solar viability matrix. The first category expands to show physical infrastructure, things like roof age, tree shade, and roof complexity. Solar panels are built to last for decades. If you install them on a roof nearing the end of its useful life, you're setting up a major problem. When that roof eventually needs to be replaced, you will have to pay a crew to remove the panels and reinstall them later. Those secondary labor costs eat directly into your savings. Then there is shade. Heavy tree cover, complex dormers, and multiple angled roof sections reduce usable space. You spend the same on equipment, but generate significantly less power, extending the break-even period. Addressing roof repairs and mitigating shade issues must happen before panel installation. If you skip those steps, the long-term return on investment falls apart. The next factor is comparing your real energy usage against your future plans. This bar chart shows why looking backwards isn't enough. You've seen 12 months of steady utility usage, but then a sudden, massive spike in the 13th month, labeled for a future EV or heat pump. Sizing a system strictly on last year's bills is a common mistake. If you add high-draw upgrades like an electric vehicle or a heat pump, a system designed for your old history will immediately fall short. When that shortfall happens, your home is forced right back into pulling power from the grid, which defeats the original goal of lowering those utility bills. A practical evaluation requires mapping out your household's electrical needs for the next 5 to 10 years, so the design is actually future-proofed.
The third major variable is financing, and specifically the hidden compounding costs that are often disguised by the promise of easy, immediate cash flow. This line graph compares two loan structures over time. Notice how the low monthly payment line curves sharply upward to a massive total cost compared to the standard loan. Some solar loans offer an affordable monthly rate, but pack the back end with exorbitant dealer fees. This exponentially increases total repayment, wipes out utility savings, and creates complex liens if you try to sell. Finally, we must look at local Ohio realities, specifically how our unpredictable weather patterns and regional utility companies directly dictate your actual solar value. This area chart tracks expected solar production across a full calendar cycle. You can see high peak production in the summer, contrasted with a significant drop during the shorter, cloudier days of winter. You cannot size a system based on your single best-case month in July. The math only works when it accounts for annual averages over the entire year. It also requires coordinating with local Sunbury utility net metering rules. You need to know exactly how your provider credits you for the excess energy your panels export to the grid. Ignoring the full cost of financing or failing to design around actual seasonal weather averages will guarantee a broken investment. All of these variables, roof health, energy usage, financing, and weather, combine to create specific candidate profiles. Take a look at this decision flowchart. The very first step is self-identifying your ownership timeline, asking, plan to move soon? before branching out to roof condition and bill size, ending in go or no-go buckets. The no-go profile is a homeowner planning to move within 3 years, dealing with an aging roof, heavy shade, or having to rely on weak financing terms. In these situations, the friction of selling a home with new panels, plus the high upfront preparation costs, completely outweigh any short-term utility savings. The optimizer profile, however, is a homeowner staying in the house long-term, with a healthy, unshaded roof and steady or rising electricity needs. For the optimizer, solar delivers predictable energy planning and deep utility cost control over the next decade. Your specific property profile is what dictates your success. Generalized online savings averages simply do not work for Sunbury residents evaluating their homes today. Comparing multiple solar quotes means very little unless you are comparing detailed system designs based on your exact property footprint. The only way to see the real math is to get a customized local evaluation. That's where Solar Panel Services Sunbury comes in. They are the local authority for rigorous, property-specific solar assessments. Instead of relying on broad promises, their process specifically reviews your roof condition, your utility setup, and your actual usage history to build an accurate model. Schedule a consultation with Solar Panel Services Sunbury to get a definitive, realistic answer on whether solar makes practical sense for your specific property.